Hi guys, I'm back with module 8 of Forex chapter of AFM CA final. Uh, this is the second time that I'm recording this. First time I forgot to put the mic and I didn't have audio, so yeah. That's why it looks like it's already been used. Yeah. So basically, this is not how I started earlier. I started with explaining all of the cases a little bit. So I'll just go through them quickly. There's A, cancellation on due date, B, cancellation before the due date, then there's extension on the due date, there's extension before the due date, then there's execution of contract, then there is two more. One of them is after due date. Uh, yeah, there's after due date cases, and there's execution before due date. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead with cancellation on due date. So before that, actually, let me explain the base example. So there are 4 dates here. That's 1st Jan, 1st March, 1st April, 4th April. We have spot and forward rates for a lot of things. So Jan does spot and 3-month forward contract, which would expire on 1st April. On 1st March, we have spot 1-month FR, which would expire in April. 2-month FR, which would expire in May. For April, we have spot 1-month FR, May, and 3-day FR, which was 4th April. Then we have 4th April, which is spot. There are two contracts. The first contract is between the customer and the bank. Basically, the customer wants to buy $1 at 50 rupees. 3-month forward rate. The 3-month forward rate is $1.50. The customer enters into a contract with bank A to buy $1 after 3 months at 50 rupees. Contract B is between bank A and bank B, where bank A wants to buy $1 from bank B to a 3-month forward contract at the same price of $1 is equal to 50 rupees to keep things simple. Bank A enters this with bank B to hedge its transaction with customer. So basically, bank A will buy the dollar from bank B and sell it to customer. Usually there is some interbank rate and there's some margin. So basically, if this is a situation, bank A will actually make a profit because of the interbank rates and merchant rate margins. But for simplicity, we're just using the same rate here. And if you notice, we don't have ask rate, bid rate here. The questions will have ask rate, bid rate. I'm just explaining it here, so it's just simple not to have them. The first case is cancellation on due date. So basically, let me explain to you how we're going to do this. So 1st Jan, yeah, so this one has only the customer's point of view and only affects contract A. It has no effect on contract B, which the bank has, with which the bank A enters into with bank B. So 1st Jan, customer goes to bank A to buy dollar at rupees 50 on 1/4. Okay, that's a bit confusing. 1/4. So 1st April. On 1st April, customer tells bank A he doesn't want to buy the dollar. So what will bank do? So bank has to cancel the contract, but there has to be some amount of transaction that has to occur in order to facilitate that. So what's going to happen is the original contract, the original position was buy dollar at rupees 50. Now to cancel, we are going to take an opposite stand. You're going to hear that throughout the module, so just remember, take an opposite stand. Basically, if you're buying, we sell. If you're selling, we buy. So here, to cancel, we need to sell dollars at. Now here's the tricky part. the date right now is 1st April. The 1st Jan transaction was already done. It's 3 months after that, it's the due date now. So on the due date, I'm buying I'm buying $1 at 50 rupees from the bank. Now I want to cancel that contract. So I should basically sell the dollar back to the bank to do that. That is what take an opposite stand means. Basically, if I'm buying, I need to sell it. If I'm selling, I need to buy it. Now, at what rate can I buy it? So I need to buy it right now. So it has to be the spot rate, and I'm on 1st April. So 1st April spot rate, that is sell dollar at rupees 52. So basically, the customer walks away with rupees 2 profit. Now, some people might ask, which is logically kind of true, that why would the bank allow the customer to cancel the contract and give him a profit of 2? Basically, what's happening here is, for example, I'm the customer, I go to bank A and say that, okay, 3 months later I'm buying at 50 rupees. So 3 months later I go to the bank, say that, okay, here's 50 rupees, give me the dollar. And then later, after having lunch or something, just go back to the bank and say, okay, I have this dollar, how much will you buy it for? So at that time, the bank will just give me its bid rate, which would be the rate at which the bank will buy the dollar back. So that would be 52. So basically, bank here is not losing money as such. It's just having a new transaction for the bank. For the customer point of view, yes, it's cancelling a contract. Alright, that's the logic behind this. I would like to do a question for this, but it's really not necessary. It's as simple as that. I will be getting into questions later when the things get more complicated. Like, I guess the complications would start extension before due date and after due date cases. Before that, it's really just simple. It's one line answers. You just cancel the contract. Basically, the next one would be cancellation before due date. That is even more easy. We just have to give the customer another forward contract. Okay, I'm going off topic now. I'm just gonna erase this and get back to you with B. Okay, so this is special case B, that is cancellation before due date. It's really simple. Let me explain the story here. So again, 1st Jan, same contract A is entered into. Alright. Then on 1st March, the customer tells the bank, I want to cancel the contract today. So basically, the bank is like, hey, I can't do that right now. The due date's not right now. What do I do? Okay. So what we need to do is, again, take an opposite stand. You know what? Let me just write that down. So remember it. Take an opposite stand. Okay, but now you might ask, how will I take an opposite stand when it's not the due date? I can't just buy right now, hold it for a month and give it to the bank later. No, that's not how it's going to work. Basically, that's why we have these rates. Now, this is the date on which I entered into contract. This is March 1st. This is the date I want to cancel the contract. And this is April 1st, the due date. Now, I'm here, but my contract is going to expire. Then I need to take an opposite stand today. The opposite stand should be such that it expires on the same day, that is 1st April, which is this date. So basically, let me just create a timeline here. This is month 0, this is 2 months, this is 3 months. This is the original contract, which is this, right? This is 1st March. Now, I already have a buy dollar here that's expiring. Now, I need to enter into a contract to take an opposite stand of that buy dollar. So, I need to sell dollar after a month. Okay, you can see where I'm going here. All I need to do is on 1st March, this contract on 1st March, I need to enter into a 1 month forward contract to sell dollars. That is, sell dollars at, you can see the rate, 1 month FR is rupees 53. So that's the story. Now all you need to do in the exam is present it in a better way. I'll show you the better way because it's very, very, very simple. Rightful forms, obviously. Original position, buy dollar at rupees 50. To cancel, sell dollar at rupees 53. That would be 3 rupees profit. Now, one more logical question. So this is on 1st March. So I've already entered into another forward contract which would sell the $1 that I was buying on 1st April. Now I know today that after a month I'm going to get 3 rupees of profit. But this 3 rupees of profit I will get only on 1st April, not today. Because only on 1st April the bank will sell me a dollar. Basically I will buy a dollar from bank for 50 rupees and then turn around and sell the same dollar to the bank for 53. This is not a current profit, it's a future profit. Alright, that's the only point of explanation here. That's it, B is over. Alright, this is the third special case C, that is extension on the due date. So again the same story. 1st Jan we enter into contract A with the bank. On 1st April we are going to the bank and saying, hey bank, I know it's 1st April and I know I'm supposed to buy $1 from you today, but sorry, I don't have the money or I don't really want the dollar today. Can we shift it a month? I really need the dollar on 1st May now, not 1st April. The bank would be like, sure, that's possible. How is that possible? So there are 2 steps to it. Alright, step 1 would be cancel contract A. So this would be our special case A, which is cancellation on due date. Basically we take an opposite stand. Basically if we are buying $1 on the due date, that's the forward contract is for buying $1, we sell $1 on spot. And then step 2 would be book a new forward contract. It's that simple. Okay, same example here. So basically we had the original position as buy dollar at 50. Now on the due date, as we have spoken about earlier, to cancel I need to sell dollar at the spot rate, which is 52, and I get a profit of 2 rupees. Right now this answer won't end here. I need to book a new forward contract on 1st April for 1st May. So all I need to do is book a new forward contract on 1st April with the due date of 1st May, and then just say that it will be at the contract will be buy dollar at rupees. The 1 month forward rate of dollars from 1st April is 56 at rupees 56. That is it. That is special case C, and technically this is the correct way to present it. There is no other way. I think there is a question that you need to do for this one, which is really important. Let me just check. Yes. Yeah, question number 53. It does not deal entirely with just this. It needs you to compare this case with something else. So yeah, just go through question 53. You should be good. FYI, question 53 is in page number 72 of your notebook. Yeah. Extension before due date. D. I'm not gonna waste too much time here. I'm just gonna go ahead with the timeline. So basically, this is 1st Jan, which is the date we entered into contract A with, right? With bank B. Then this is 1st March. Then this would be 1st April. Then this would be 1st May. Right? So this is 2 months. This is 1 month. And this is 1 month. Not really relevant, but yeah. So this is when we enter into contract A. Now on 1st March, customer goes to the bank, says that I don't want to buy it on 1st April. I want to buy it on 1st May. Can you do something today? The bank says, yeah, I can do that. So basically, what the bank would do is the bank would cancel contract A before the due date, which is, if you remember correctly, a special case B, right? And then book a new forward contract for 1st May, and then we would execute it on 1st May. Alright, so basically on 1st April, now contract A will get executed, and the opposite stand will also get executed. No, not exactly executed, but yeah, these will cancel each other out on 1st April, and the profit or loss, get a different color, the profit / loss would actually happen on 1st April. So really easy. Now I hope you understand this. If you have any doubts, can't help it. Yeah. So let's get into the example. And again, I'm not going to do a sum of this because it's quite easy. It's basically doing special case B and then booking a new contract. That's it. Alright. So let me begin. Original position was buy. Yeah, this is on 1st March. Yeah. Buy dollar at rupees 50. To cancel, we need to buy dollar at, now this is 1st March, I need to cancel something which is on 1st April. Again, this is 1st Jan, I entered into the contract this date. This is 1st March, I want to cancel the contract today. This is 1st April, this is the date of execution. Now on 1st March, if I want to cancel something, I need to take an opposite stand, but the opposite stand cannot be right now because the due date is later. So I need to take a forward contract which would actually expire on the due date, which is of the opposite stand of the original contract which was entered on 1st Jan. I hope you are following what I'm saying. Yeah. So on 1st March, I would take a forward contract with the opposite stand of the original contract. So in this example, it is buy, that's the original contract, and now I would enter into a opposite stand which is sell. So I need to sell dollar on 1st April, but right now it's 1st March. So I would take a forward contract which would be sell dollar at whatever 1 month forward rate is. So the 1 month forward rate is 53. So I would sell dollar at 53, get the profit of 3 rupees, which I would get on 1st April. There might be questions where you need to, figure out if you need to extend or if you want to, lag the payment or whatever. So that's why I'm saying that you get this 3 rupees on 1st April, not today. So you have to factor in time value of money in such cases. So take the time value of money from 1st April because that's when you get the money. Alright, now on 1st March itself, we know that we want to buy $1 on 1st May. So what we do right now to hedge our risk is we enter into another forward contract, which is a 2-month forward contract from 1st March. That would be at rupees 55. It is that simple. That's it. And it's kind of the right presentation. Also, you just need to write whatever I told. That's it. Alright. If you're actually paying attention, you can see that I directly came to F, which skipped E. E is nothing but execution on due date, which is basically me paying the bank 50 rupees on the due date and the bank giving me $1, which is just nonsensical. Why is that even a special case? I don't get it. It's an ICI. Don't blame me. Alright. We're going with execution before due date. This is where it gets interesting. This is where I'm going to actually erase this, because throughout the question we are going to be jumping between the customer's POV and the bank's POV and also the contracts. So all of these rules have not been created by ICI. I think they have been created by some banking regulator. I'm not sure if it's RBI, but whatever. So it is both the customer and bank's POV in between. I'll be explaining that, and also we have to take care of both the contracts here. So I'll give you a timeline. So this is month 0, this is 2nd month, this is 3rd month. The contract is for 3rd month, but I'm here and I'm saying that I want to buy the dollar today and I don't want this. So basically I'm executing this contract here. That's the entire issue here. Now where does it get complicated? It gets complicated because we can't just cancel the contract and buy at spot because I don't know. Well, technically we can do that. I just don't know why we don't do that. Here there will be 3 different steps and 3 different rules. The rules are: first one, original contract price is to be maintained. Well, technically we are cancelling the future contract and buying on spot today. It's a long story. It's a bit more complicated than that though. And the second one would be swap gain or loss. Then the third one would be interest on cash inflow or cash outflow. Alright, there are 2 ways to do this. One is I explain the steps and then explain the concept behind it, and that would be simpler because I can't explain the concept unless you actually know what the steps are. Yeah, I know it's backwards, but that's how it's going to be. So original contract price has to be maintained. That's the first condition here. So to meet the first condition, we are going to sell the customer. We are the bank here, alright, bank's POV. We are going to sell the customer. Basically, the customer will buy. You know what? Let me just write it. Customer will buy at dollar at rupees 50 on 1st March. Even though the customer comes early, you're gonna adhere to the original contract price, that is 50 rupees. We'll say that, okay, customer, I know you came 2 months earlier for 3-month forward rate. We quoted the rate at 50 rupees. Even though you're a month early, we're still going to give you the dollar at today's at that original contract price, but there might be some additional gain or loss that you might have to incur or get. So in this case, the customer will still buy the dollar at 50 rupees, even though the spot is 51. Now, no, the bank is not going to run a loss, obviously, because why would the bank handle the customer's loss? It will be covered in rule 2 and 3. Now, in rule 2, we need to calculate swap gain slash loss. Now, what is swap gain or swap loss? Swap here means swap means to shift. If you go literally, yeah, to shift something for another. Yeah. Now, swap here means two transactions that have taken together that have been entered into at once to do something else. I don't know the exact thing. You can read the notes for that. But yeah, you're going to enter two different transactions, and the net loss or gain of that is basically swap gain or loss. So which two contracts? Now, if you remember, we are on 1st March, right? On 1st March, the bank A has to give the customer $1, right? Now, bank A doesn't have the dollar, so it will go to bank B to get that dollar, and bank B will sell the dollar. All right, yeah. Bank A will get the dollar, and bank B will get rupees, the spot rate, which is 51. All right. So the bank A will enter into a contract with bank B to buy $1 at the spot rate, which is rupees 51, right? And now the thing is, we have this one transaction that's going on, but we also have contract A. Contract A has not been cancelled yet, right? The bank still has a contract with the customer to sell $1 to the customer on 1st April. Now the customer doesn't want it on 1st April, so we need to cancel it. To cancel it, we need to do the same thing. What's the original position? Original position is buy dollar at 50. To cancel, we need to sell dollar at what rate would it be? The rate would be 1 month FR on 1st March, because again, this is 1st Jan, this is 1st March, this is 1st April. The same story again. I'm in 1st March. I need to cancel a contract that's going to expire on 1st April. I need to have a contract that expires on that day with the opposite stand. So the original contract is buy, the opposite stand is sell. On 1st March, I enter into a forward contract for selling $1 after 1 month to cancel the original contract. Yes, 53, right? So this contract is swap transaction 2. This contract is swap transaction 1. To calculate gain or loss, you just see. So this is a buy. This, wait, let me use a different color so it's easier. So this is a buy, this is a sell. So we are selling it high, buying it low. So that's a profit of rupees 2. This profit will be given to the customer. Now, I know the logic is not logicking, but yeah, that's the thing. All right, so where were we? Now we know there's a swap gain of rupees 2, right? Which the bank A will give to the customer, right? That is point 2, and they will give it on 1st April on the due date. Yes. So the third one is interest on cash inflow or outflow. All right. All right. Interest on cash inflow and outflow. So what's going to happen is basically the bank had to, this is bank's POV, right? Okay. The bank had to sell $1 at rupees 50 to the customer on 1st April. Now, because the bank is not executing this contract, it had to execute some other contract. It had to sell dollar at 50 rupees to the customer on 1st March, right? So, because the bank is selling it 1 month before on 1st March, it has to buy $1 at rupees 51, which is the spot rate. Now the bank is facing a loss of rupees 1 because it's buying at 51 and selling at 50. So this loss of 1, we technically don't have to, do anything for it because it's being covered elsewhere, which will come in the explanation part. But because it is a cash outflow, basically the bank is giving 1 rupee to someone else on behalf of the customer for 1 month. 1 month early, right? Because on 1st March the bank is paying 51 and getting 50. So 1 rupee the bank is basically not having for a month. The bank will treat it as a loan, I guess. You could say it's a sort of a loan at an interest rate. For example, 12%. So basically, the bank will incur a loss of 1 rupee, that is a cash outflow, and then the bank will charge interest to the customer at its going bank rate. Alright, so that would be 0.1 rupee. Alright, so now let's collate everything. Let's see what's happening overall. Alright, to explain this, I'm going to start with 1st March. Customer gives bank rupees 50, bank A, and then bank A gives customer $1, right? Now bank B will take rupees 51 from bank A and then give bank A $1. So basically bank A gives 51 rupees to bank B, takes $1, gives this dollar to the customer and takes 50 rupees. So it has a loss. Wait, let me give you the customer's point of view and the bank's point of view. It'll be easier. So the customer has his dollar and paid rupees 50. The bank, which I will write in red, bank basically has a 1 rupee loss, right? This is for now. Now I'll just write this over here. Customer and then bank. Alright, rupees 50 for $1 and then rupee 1 loss. Alright, this is basically on 1st March. Technically I'm explaining the logic also right here, so you can just listen to it. Then we are on 1st April. Alright, right? What happens on 1st April is, what happens on 1st April? Yeah, there's nothing with the customer. No, there are transactions with the customer, sorry. There's bank A. Alright. Bank A will give the customer 2 rupees, remember? Rupees 2. because that was the profit of the customer, the swap gain. Remember, because we bought at 51 and we sold at 53. So swap gain was rupees 2. So bank will give it to the customer. So the customer has a 2 rupee profit and the bank is still in a $1 loss. Technically, no. The bank's $1 loss is now compensated. I will get back to it. But still, the bank had a cash outflow for 1 rupee for a month. So the customer will give to the bank interest of rupees 0.1. So the bank now gets rupees 0.1. Alright, so please remember this. That is important. Just gonna rub it all. Now I'm gonna explain everything to you. Just gonna, keep this here. Okay, here's the logic. So basically, let me go contract by contract. So original contract was buy dollar at 50 on 1st April, right? Then the bank enters into a new contract to sell dollar at rupees 53 on 1st April, right? That was to cancel. This is our swap transaction 2, right? So the profit should have been rupees 3 for the customer, right? Correct? If he would have done a cancellation before due date, correct? Now I'm gonna write it here. Customer, bank, okay, should have gotten a profit of 3, right? Correct. Now if you see swap transaction 1, bank sells dollar at 50 to customer, right? That is original contract, sorry, original position. And then to cancel it, it enters into swap transaction 1, which is buy dollar at 51, which is the spot rate, right? So the bank is incurring a loss of rupees 1. Let's put it here. Rupees 1 loss, right? And then later on, the bank is also paying, bank pays rupees 51 and receives rupees 50. So it has a loss of 1, obviously. But then later on, this loss will be recovered from the customer. So for 1 month, okay, let me rephrase. I'll cut that out. I need to edit the video now. Okay. So the bank has a 1 rupee loss. The customer has a 3 rupee profit. Now let me have a timetable. This is 2nd month, which is 1st March. This is 3rd month, which is 1st April. Now the bank has a loss of rupees 1 and the customer has a profit of rupees 3. So overall that's a profit of rupees 2, right? But now the bank is paying that rupees 1 on the 2nd month and it will receive it back from the customer only on 3rd month when he settles the transaction. So basically the bank will bear the 1 rupee for now, charge interest for 1 month and then cancel out this to give him rupees 2. Got it? It's as simple as that. That's the logic behind it. So the bank basically is cancelling the original contract A and making the customer buy it on the due date. That's the entire concept behind it. But the three rules that we need to follow, and the three rules makes it a bit complicated. But if you see, the end result is the same, just that the bank will charge interest for the cash inflow or outflow. Basically, if in this case the bank would have sold it at 52, they would have gotten 1 rupee profit, which would have been settled after a month. So bank would have paid interest to the customer for that 1 month. That's the entire concept behind this. I think there shouldn't be any doubts. I will do one sum of this to make sure that it's pakka. All right. I had started the sum, but I got a call, so I had to cut the recording. Let me just explain the entire thing again. This is a sum for execution before due date. The question number is 46. It's on page number 84 of the notebook. So we started the question with on October 1st, 2017. 2017 is okay. So my approach with the question. Let's slow down a little and let me tell you what I do. So what I normally follow is I read the question, I remove the irrelevant things, I just remove the relevant things. I take the relevant things, keep using them till they become irrelevant. Once they are irrelevant, I forget them. Alright. So I was just going through the question and collating all of the relevant details. Here I began the sum by reading the question on 1st October 2017. 2017 is irrelevant, but 1st October is relevant. Mr. X, an exporter, the word exporter here is relevant because that shows us if our original position is buy or sell. Now, since our customer, I am the bank, the customer is an exporter, the exporter will be receiving foreign currency and therefore would be selling me the foreign currency. So the original position will be a sell. On 1st October 2017, Mr. X, an exporter, enters into a forward contract with BNP Bank to sell $100,000. That is also relevant. On 31st December, that is also relevant because this becomes a due date. And then at $1 equal to rupees 65 and 40 paise. That becomes the original position, original contract rate, OCR. However, due to the request of the importer, Mr. X received the amount on 28th November. Here the only relevant detail is Mr. X, which is the exporter, will receive the amount on 28th November. Mr. X requested the bank to take delivery of the remittance on 28th November, i.e. before the due date. So basically, Mr. X, the exporter, is saying, bank, can you please execute the 31st December forward contract today on 28th November. The interbank rates on 28th November were as follows. That is, spot $1 is equal to 65.22 or 27 bid rate ask rate. 1 month premium is 10 and 15 respectively. So basically, yeah, the next part of the question is, if the bank agrees to take early delivery, then what will be the net inflow to Mr. X, assuming that the prevailing prime lending rate is 18%. The last and final relevant detail is 18% interest. Okay, so this is the entire question. That's it. Not 3 paragraphs, nothing huge, just that's the question. Okay, now so we can start off with removing the irrelevant details. So the original position is sell. So on 28th November, we will have to receive the dollars and sell it ahead. So the irrelevant rate here is the ask rate, because we are not buying it, we will be selling it to another bank. 1 month forward, so we will be buying dollars 1 month forward. So this actually is relevant. My bad, 27. And then this 1 month, this 10 is not relevant. So I just calculate this 6542, and then these two become irrelevant, and this becomes a 1 month forward rate. Alright, so now I have all the details I need to start the question. How would I start the question? 3 rules. Let's go over them one by one. Alright, let's start the question. Sorry, the answer. So the first step would be OCR is to be maintained. So basically, the bank will still honor its original contract. So original position is sell the $100,000 at rupees 6540. So the customer will still give the bank $100,000, and the bank will still give the customer 65,40,000. Alright, so this question is asking us the net inflow for the customer, so the 65,40,000 is relevant later on. Now, second one would be swap gain / loss. Now, in order to facilitate this transaction, the bank needs to sell $100,000 ahead. So now the bank has the swap transaction 1 is equal to sell $100,000 at rupees spot rate of the before due date. So that would be 28th November. That should be 6522. Okay, and swap transaction 2 is equal to, now I need to reverse the original position. So the original position is sell dollar at rupees 6540, but this is on 31st March, so I need to cancel it with a buy dollar at the rate of 31st December, the rate of the forward contract with the expiry on the due date 31st December quoted on 28th November, that is 6527, which is the ask rate, plus the 0.15, which is the 1 month premium, that would be rupees 6542. So this will give a loss of 0.02, but that doesn't matter. That is completely irrelevant. Please do not calculate that. Many people do that, including me. I've done that multiple times. Alright, so the swap gain or loss is between these two transactions. So that would be 6522, that is sell, 6542, that is buy. It is 0.20 loss, that is into $100,000, gives us 20,000 rupees loss, which will be paid by the customer to the bank. So it is a cash outflow for the customer and an inflow for the bank on the due date. Okay. Now, last part that is remaining is interest. Now, the interest is calculated on the base. One second, let me just write the heading. Interest on cash inflow or cash outflow. Now, the interest is based on two numbers. That is the original contract rate, that is rupees 6540, and the swap transaction 1, which is rupees 6522. This is sell, this is buy. No, both of them are sell. But this is a buy for bank This is a sell for bank. So basically the bank is not selling, the bank is buying. Alright. If you actually slow it down and listen, I think you might understand. So it is, the original contract is for the customer to sell and the bank to buy, and the swap transaction one is for the bank to sell. Alright. So here the loss comes to 0.18, which is a cash outflow. So the bank will charge interest on it. So 0.18 into $100,000 is equal to 18,000. 18,000 into so that would be due date is not counted, execution date is not counted, 31 days. 365 into 0.18, which is the prime interest lending rate. This should come up to 275 rupees, which is another cash outflow for the customer because it is a loss to the bank. Cash outflow basically. So now the customer, so this is the final answer. The net cash inflow for customer on 28th November, he received 65,40,000 on the early execution of the contract. On 31st December, he has to pay rupees 20,000, which is the loss, swap loss, and rupees 275, which is the interest on the cash outflow. So this should come out to, I'm actually calculating here, 65 lakh 19,725 rupees. I'll just write it down here. 6519725. That's the final answer. Okay, so we are at the last one, that is after due date cases. Before this, we did execution of execution before due date. This will follow the same flow, but it's quite different. Here, something called RAC is followed, that is rules of automatic cancellation. Now, rules of automatic cancellation is basically if a customer does not show up or shows up late, we have to follow rules of automatic cancellation. Rules of automatic cancellation outlines three steps to be followed. First one is exchange rate difference. Second is swap loss. Third is interest. Okay, so this might look really similar to the last case, but it is fundamentally different in this, and it is in the second and third one. It's different where gain is not transferred to the customer, only loss is taken back from the customer. So I'll give you an example and let's go ahead. Okay, before we begin, there's a few rules that need to be understood. RAC outlines the following. The bank must wait for 3 days. Alright, so for example, if the due date was 1/4, the bank can max wait till 4/4. That's it, not further. Then the bank has to follow the 3 steps. Alright, and the bank must take the nearest forward contract. Okay, you're gonna understand all 3 of these uh, as and when we move ahead. Now, okay, let's begin the example. The first one would be exchange. The first step would be exchange rate difference. Now we are going to change up the example little. The original contract will not be buy. The original contract will be sell now. The only reason is that we need a loss to calculate a lot of things in this. If there's gain, we just ignore it. So yeah, so now it's a sale agreement which the customer will be selling to the bank. All right. So now the original position was sell dollar at 50. To cancel, we have to buy dollar at some rate. This transaction is taking place on 4/4. Now the explanation for this is really long. So all I'm going to say is this is always going to be a spot rate. Okay, it can be of any of the 3 days, contingent on customer showing up. Basically, if the customer shows up on 2nd April, we have to take 2nd April's date. If the customer shows up on 3rd April, we have to take 3rd April's date. If the customer shows up on 4th April or the customer does not show up at all, we have to take the date of 4th April. Here we are just going to take the 4th April spot rate because that's the one I have here. So that's here. So this exchange rate difference of 1.75, which is a loss, would be paid by customer to the bank. Alright, if there was a gain here, please ignore because the bank is not going to reward a customer for not showing up. Any gain in any of the 3 steps has to be ignored. Okay, step 2, swap loss. Here the heading won't even have gain because a gain is to be ignored. Okay, so swap transaction 1 would be to cancel contract A. So original position is sell dollar at 50. To cancel, you have to buy dollar at. Okay, these transactions are going to take place on 1/4 because on 1/4 we have to either cancel or execute the first contract. So we have to buy at spot to cancel it. The spot rate is 52. Alright, so this is swap transaction 1. Now RAC rules say that we have to take the nearest forward rate. So the nearest forward contract is of 4th April. That's a 3-day FR, which is at $1 is equal to rupee 51.5. So here we have a sell of 51.5 and a buy of 52. So 0.5 is the swap loss to be paid by customer to bank. Okay, so till now the customer has to pay. In the first one it was 1.75, now it is 0.5, and it's keep gonna go up. Like that's one more thing. Alright, so this is the second part. Now third and last would be to figure out the interest. Now original contract was sell dollar at 50. To cancel, buy dollar at 22. So there is a loss of 2. Now this 2 rupees is an outflow because buy is more than sell. If there was an inflow, we cannot pay the customer the interest because the customer came late. It's his fault. He doesn't get anything. So this 2 rupees outflow, assuming a 12% interest rate, we have to take for 3 days, which I'll have to calculate. So basically this will get added here, and this x would be the total amount of cancellation. Alright, so this is 0.002. So total charges payable is equal to 1.75 from step 1 plus 0.5 from step 2 plus 0.002, which will give us 2.252. That's the total charges payable by the customer. Now a few important points. Now if the customer showed up on the due date to cancel the contract, nothing has to be done, the contract is already cancelled. Now if the customer shows up on the due date or a day before the due date or whatever, all of these has to be followed. Like even if he comes up on 2nd or 3rd or 4th, all of these steps have to be followed. The only thing that will change is the spot rate wouldn't be of 4th April, the spot rate would be of the day that he shows up. Now if the customer wants to extend it, he has to book a new forward contract. If the customer wants to execute it, he has to do it at the spot rate. So all of those transactions would be extra on top of the RAC charges that he has to pay. So that's it. With this we are done with module 8. This was a big one.